All right, let's call to order the Board of Supervisors work session for Thursday, March 19th. We're here in the Supervisors Hearing Room on Melody Lane in Bisbee. The order or deletion of any item on this agenda is subject to modification at the meeting. Any item listed is open for discussion. Please note that some attachments may be updated after the agenda is published. Meeting presentation materials displayed at the board meeting may differ slightly from the attached versions online. Members of the Board of Supervisors will attend in person or via remote conferencing, and members of the public may also attend via Microsoft Teams or the mobile app. Work sessions are a time for county staff to inform and discuss agenda items with the board, and public comments will not be taken. We'll begin roll call District 1. And District 2, Ms. Gomez, she's in Phoenix at the CSA thing, right? All right, so she is absent on official business. And then District 3, Antonori is here. 2 of the 3 supervisors are present and in person. Okay. I guess Sharon, we'll start with you if you want to go through all the little library.
Library and flood, they're just consent items. The Dale District does have one action item for educational experience agreement for clinical practicum with Cochise College
Oh, that's
for the
what
jail.
Ms. Kennedy's here.
Yep, so
Okay.
Ms. Kennedy is here. If you have any questions about that, it's to have students go through their internship, externship at the jail.
Yeah, might as well. I got a couple questions. I don't know if Mr. Crosby has it.
My theory is that the more we hear from our
Oh,
fine
yeah.
staff, the shorter our meeting will be next week.
So is this, it says the Cochise College, is this like the nursing program there or something? Or?
So the vast majority would be allied health. So it's not just the nursing program, but it would be like MAs, phlebotomist, nursing assistants. But the majority of the students that we've had in the past, this isn't a new agreement. Previously, we had this agreement through the health department.
Okay,
But now since Detention Health Services is under the
Because the
sheriff's
district-
office and the jail district,
Yeah.
we've put this before you again. In the past, the majority of the students that we've had have been nursing students that have come in on their preceptorship and spent about 8 to 12 weeks shadowing one of the nurses that we have there. And we'd like to,
do you put them to work?
they follow the nurses and they do work. There's certain things that they can't do, obviously, but the majority of it they can. And they can gather a lot of skills. And it's also a benefit for the county because sometimes it helps with retention and recruitment.
And extra hands.
Mhm.
Always upset. Okay, all right, cool. Do you have anything for Ms. Kennedy?
Those are-
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. That's a good easy one. All right, so,
That's it on that.
all right.
Then we go into the regular meeting and invocation is District 3. We've asked Dr. Lamont Garner from Sierra Vista Seventh-day Adventist Church to come and give the invocation.
And so is Mr. Crosby where?
I'm not sure.
And so this guy was really nice. And while we were paving the parking lot, the county parking lot there, and everybody had to go park somewhere else while Daryl had the whole place tore up. These guys let the county employees park in the church parking lot.
That's
Yeah.
good, though.
Yeah, so as a thank you, we're inviting him here. He's going to do the invocation and we're going to give him a nice little thank you.
All right.
Doing just so you're
You have a profession.
professional. All right, so anyways.
So that's good.
Then our current events in 3 minutes of whatever we want to talk about per supervisor. Our points of personal privilege / current events.
Get ready.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we have, of course, the call to public and the consent items. The standard.
So on the, off the top of your head, on the 7 appointments, what's the breakdown on that? You know,
Breakdown, they're all Democrats.
all Democrats, okay.
These are all
Why-
Democrats, the 7
why-
appointments and the resignation.
Why are they, I thought the statute said within a certain amount of time before the election, they're not supposed to be appointed, or is that after the election?
As I recall, October 1st is the start and stop date for
Think that
Appointment?
you should make appointments at any time.
Yeah, but I would, so yeah, because I know because they should be submitting their petitions to run right now, not appointing them.
Yeah.
Right? Tell them that they go get their 10 signatures and hand them into you. I mean, why are we appointing PCs right before?
They can.
So Chair Antonari and Supervisor Crosby. So I don't necessarily know if there's a statute regarding that. Well, I'll defer to Dylan. I do not believe so, but I'll defer to the expert. But in terms of the Democratic Party, the explanation that was provided to me by the county chair for the Democratic Party is that in order for them to receive some type of registration rolls, not through the county recorder, that they're able to do this. So they only do it to appointed PCs. And so they're trying to get them appointed prior to October 1st. However, the filing date is March 23rd, Monday, and all the PCs will also have to file for election for the next 2 years.
Right.
We may or may not have a contest for PCs.
Right.
But that's
But
the purpose.
So we're appointing them for 3 months.
Yes. But then after the filing date and we could also do a appoint and cancel for all the PCs. So Republican and Democratic and Libertarian.
Well, they get elected at the primary. Yeah, so it's only 4-month appointment.
Currently right now as it stands, we will have a contest for Republican PC. Not any for Democratic PCs.
Just trying to, could have sworn I remember something, because I know you can't appoint them between the primary and January 1st.
That's my understanding of the statute also. It's been a while since I've looked at. the
Yeah.
statute. I
I'm
can get
trying to
back
remember
you.
too.
You have to be elected to be an officer. And so when the parties are building their various committees, only elected PCs can run. for
And that's why
office.
they won't let us appoint anybody until after the statutory meetings have already gone on, because they don't want any appointed PCs at the statutory meeting. So the statute says you can't be appointed until this date between a certain date on that year. And I didn't know if it started before the election date. It's after. So from the election day until the end of January, I believe, which is
Be
when
the
the,
state organization. After that.
then you could start appointing
I would say
PCs.
so.
Yeah, that's what I think the statute says, if I recall. All right.
You'd have to actually get into it and.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember, because I know you're not supposed to do that because they don't want you to put appointed, and you are correct, only elected PCs are able to vote at the organizational meeting. So that way they don't put any appointees in, because that keeps the board from appointing them to go do that, right? So, that's the deal. All right, thanks, Ms. Savant. So appreciate that. All right. It just seems like a lot of people for 4 months of,
Gloria.
yeah, 4 months, okay.
And then we have a proclamation to declare April 2026 as Fair Housing Month in Cochise County. We've done this every year, so that's why it's on the consent agenda.
Is there, other than a touchy-feely reason, is there a legal reason we do that? Oh, there we go.
There's.
Good morning,
Hello.
Mr. Chair, Supervisor Crosby. Yes, there is a legal reason, and a lot of it is in many of our grants, like Community Development Block Grant, all of our HUD grants require that we declare April as Fair Housing Month, and it goes back to 1968.
It's one of the things that you always bring up, the hidden stuff in the grants that you have to comply with.
Yeah, those little footnotes at the bottom. Yes.
That's what I kind of figured. But okay, thank you so much.
News to me.
Yeah. All
And
right.
we have some public hearings, one on franchise to Valley Telephone Corporation, telecommunications
All right.
franchise.
Hopefully that'll help get my internet speed up. It's been kind of,
Was this something that our attorneys worked on, this
I did.
franchise?
I did work on this. It is based on our standard franchise renewal. There are no franchise fees that are involved. It's not, there's nothing unique about it.
Okay. Does it have something where if indeed in the future franchises are allowed to have fees, then it would have to go to the voters to approve those fees?
Correct. That clause is now included in all of our renewals. I make sure that clause is always included.
Thank you very much.
The Crosby.
The Crosby clause.
well, that's, pass-throughs are an issue, and that's, that was always my heartburn with the way a lot of the special district things worked, right? They create a way to offload and then increase taxes through.
Secrecy,
Yeah,
sneakiness.
well, and again, and people don't pay attention to the special districts like they do the city council or the board of supervisors, right? You know, as we are finding out with our beloved fire districts. Nobody seems to pay much attention to
That's coming up.
to fire
Yeah,
districts and then, well, and like the college district is another one. People, I'm sure you hear it all the time. And I tell everybody, hey, I cut your
Run
tax
for
rate.
office.
I cut your tax rate 2%. No, you didn't. My county taxes went up. I go, no, the portion of your taxes related to other things may have gone up.
Make
But
sure you say rate.
yeah, I did say
You
rate,
say rate.
cut the tax rate 2%. And nobody understands that the county portion of their tax is only this much. Right, and then you have the school district, the Cochise College Community District, and you have fire districts, and you have flood district. You have all these add-ons on there, and people don't realize that there's a totality there that is what.
Just think how bad it was before our illustrious treasurer put the pie chart on the.
Yeah.
forms.
Yeah, and that's a help. And we need to continue to educate everybody that it's not us that is raising their property taxes. That there are 5 other entities on there that raise their taxes. We actually did truth in taxation on everything but the library district. So only the library district was the only one that we didn't do one on, did we?
Yeah.
No, we didn't need to do,
If you don't raise them, you don't need to do that.
no,
Right.
if there isn't a net
If we,
increase, you don't need to
we
do
usually have to do truth and taxation hearings because the
assessed
assessed
value.
value has gone. Even if the rate doesn't increase.
I understand.
So usually why we do them.
All right.
Then we have an ordinance proposed by planning and zoning to amend Cochise County subdivision regulations to allow administrative approval of subdivision plats. This is something for the board to consider in light of a Senate bill that passed last session that allows for subdivision regulations or subdivision plats to have staff approval only and not going to planning and zoning or the board. So
No way.
Matthew will
Yeah.
present on that.
Explain this again now. So I watched the last planning and zoning meeting, by the way, because I have no life. And so I heard a little bit about it and I was trying to grab the full concept. It is an option or is it a mandate?
Mr. Chair, it's permissive.
It's permissive.
Yes, sir.
So it's up to us.
Okay. The reason why I'm against it is because both the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Board of Supervisors should be looking at new stuff. Because if somebody creates a plan and they build the thing and it floods because of gravity or whatever, somebody should have been putting in sewer pipes and so on and so forth. Well, I shouldn't say sewer pipes, drainage, adequate drainage. And somebody needs to be responsible, and it should be ultimately us.
Yeah, yeah.
Because after it's built, then you run into, then you get the buyer going to the builder, and then they both have to go to the equalization board and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's a big mess. And ultimately, this is kind of where the buck stops for that.
So what, I guess Mr. Pugh's not here. What did the board, what did they do? What did they
Mr. Chair, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval.
recommended approval?
They did, 8-1, one dissenting vote.
So this is a public hearing. We wanted to bring it to the board's consideration, given the new legislation. From a staff perspective, it's either or. It's not anything that we're passionate about, but we wanted the board to have that consideration and to think about the possibility of this new option. So we'll have that at the
I
public
thought
hearing.
about it.
You know, so it's a buck stops here problem, right? So, I mean, we could be like certain governments in the city, county and state apparatus that pawn it off. So we have an excuse of, hey, that wasn't us. That was planning and zoning or development services. Go yell and scream at them. But I don't think, we're hearing from
Well, this is what the place that I have in mind is Horseshoe or something like that. I can't remember. So some,
Well, it's
Or
off
it's the
by me
affiliated
too. right?
name.
We had-
okay, so gravity is a problem when there's heavy rain or snow melt or something like that. And so they think that they're doing everybody a favor by doing stuff so it soaks in. That's what we want. We want water to soak.
What is
in.
the benefit of this? I mean, why would the legislature think that it's, is this to
Speed it up.
speed up, is this in counties that maybe they have huge backlogs? Because it doesn't seem to be an issue here, right?
It's quite the opposite, actually, Mr. Chair. We've had 2 subdivision applications in the last 10 years. Most of the requests have been to extend or amend assurance agreements or to abandon plats. There is an expediency argument on the part of the state, as you mentioned, for some of the metro areas as well as the
Pinal
counties.
County just got a certificate for a 100-year assured water supply to build 90,000 houses in Pinal County.
Where are they getting?
And then I got an AG crawling up my skirt over water down here, and they're putting 90,000 houses in Pinal County, and she's got the audacity to come in here and cry.
Because they want our water, obviously.
Yeah, well, you saw what they're doing in La Paz County, right? They're actually trying to take La Paz's
They'll do
water
the
and
same
shift
thing.
it,
They'll do
shift
the
it
same-
over
They
to.
already tried in 2010. I gave you that.
I know, man, I know. I'm with you. And it's just irritating the living crap out of me that we're just trying to survive and do enough development to keep the lights on in this place. And I got the AG coming down here, the governor coming down here, threatening to turn AMAs on everywhere in the county. Oh, we're gonna make this an AMA, we're gonna make this an AMA. And then she's approving 90,000 houses in Pinal County. Yeah, it's just a crock. But I appreciate the education on that. And I have a funny feeling where this is going, but we can't talk about it now. Or my attorney at the end of the thing is gonna throw something at me. So, all right, thank you, Mr. Taylor. Appreciate it. All
The
right.
next one is also a zoning ordinance to rezone a tax parcel. It's a down zoning.
Okay, all right. That's. Okay,
Interested
we'll
in
get
owner
the,
builder
we'll get the
council.
slideshow on that.
Next is a lease agreement. This is a little different, and unique, I guess, in the sense that the lease agreement is Cochise County on behalf of the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension agreeing to a lease space at the University South Foundation campus or the University of Arizona South campus in Sierra Vista, the Groth Hall location for the cooperative extension. So University of South Foundation owns that building. Cooperative Extension wants to use it. Cochise County.
Is this a GIPLET thing?
It's a statute requirement.
So GIPLET is,
What's GIPLET?
GIPLET is a way for private entities
To siphon money.
to get out of paying property taxes by transferring the property to the government and then having the government lease it back to them for a fraction of what the cost is.
No.
I don't think.
No, this isn't that?
No, this is
No.
part of the cooperative extension, the agriculture cooperative extension requirements. It's required by ARS 3/124 for the
Okay.
county to provide them office space, provide them that lease.
Okay.
And this is how we're.
Okay, but this isn't a private entity.
No, the cooperative extension is not this, the University of South
Well, there's a
Foundation is a
foundation, yeah.
nonprofit related to the University of Arizona.
Okay,
I know.
they're a 501c.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Something.
around 501c4, I want to say,
501c4.
could be, yeah.
What will the county get out of it?
We
So
will comply
750
We're
with statute.
pass through.
We're
We get
complying
nothing.
with statute that we're providing a cooperative extension
Okay.
with office space.
And what happens if we don't comply with statute?
And we're
Well,
Dylan?
oh, I'm
They
sure
could
we
sue
would
us.
get, but the university, the Arizona Board of Regents would be very angry.
They'd probably sue us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this lease did go down from last year. The amount was 24,000. That was in the budget.
Was this
from
the
last
one
year.
that Kathleen was doing with the Douglas where they needed officers? That
Well,
was,
it's the same program, but
Same
it's the
program.
Douglas side of it, yes.
So this is our Sierra Vista, the Sierra Vista location for the
all
cooperative.
right, so they did this in Douglas last year. Now this is the one for Sierra Vista. So it's the same.
We just don't have a county building in Sierra Vista where they could have office space, so we're
Oh, I see.
Providing the space.
The legal jujitsu.
Who's gonna occupy the building or who's gonna occupy the office and what are they gonna do?
So I don't have the details of the actual office space. It's for the cooperative extension, the agricultural cooperative extension, but we don't get into the
So I think
weeds
they
of
have
what
the
they're doing.
Master Gardener program, the Waterwise program, the Firewise stuff. They have.
They have a few different programs. I believe it's a
4-H.
small office space and they're just gonna have some staff doing grant-related projects. That's my understanding. That,
And what does the county get out of this besides complying with statute?
well,
For the county residents
for they
to gain benefit from their program.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
$750 per month.
We need to hear from Ms. Gomez, of course. I'm sure we.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
So the lease will be attached.
Maybe that's Ms. Gomez.
All right, so move on to the Sunside Pierce situation here.
Yes, so Sunside's Pierce Fire District has 3 resignations from their board in the past few weeks, so that results in their inability to form a quorum. So this resolution is to declare those vacancies so that the Board of Supervisors can then take letters of interest from qualified electors in that district to fill at least one of those seats so they can form a quorum. And that will depend on the amount of letters of interest we receive.
So I spoke with the chief. This is not a personality conflict problem. It wasn't like there was an issue between them. It was a totality of 3 of the board members dealing with significant personal issues. One is a family member that is like on the hospice road to the end of the road. One is another individual that has their own individual health issues that they are dealing with. And then the other one has a family member that is in our legal system. We'll just leave it at that. So they all got consumed by those personal problems. So they all stepped down from the board. Laura tried valiantly to talk with the chief to see if he can get one of them to come back just for the purpose of appointing, and they said they just can't. So that puts us in the situation of having to do this. So we will pick one, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, we will pick one person, which then gives them a quorum, and then they will go pick the remaining 2 to fill out the board under their authority under Title 48.
I see.
That's the plan. So we got to pick one.
And then they don't require us to approve who they picked, or do they?
No. So once they have a quorum,
understand.
Title 48 lets them pick replacements. Anytime somebody retires or resigns, they're allowed to appoint someone to the board. So, but they
Sounds
need 3 people to do that. So we'll give them the 3rd person, and then they'll go find the other 2.
Okay.
But they're on the ballot in November, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they got somebody that wants to do it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if somebody responds back, but yeah, we need to give direction basically to send out the notice. How does that go out, Laura? Do we send it out to every registered voter?
No, I do a public notice. I do it yes, it's in the paper and on our website. The chief did say,
We were just talking about how people don't tend to be proactive when it comes to city count or to fire districts and school boards and college boards and stuff. Do we do postcards?
we don't have a lot of time.
We don't have time.
Yeah,
How the hell are we gonna let everybody here Sunsites know that there's a vacancy on the fire board, and if they want to be on the fire board, other than a public notice, nobody's gonna know.
I understand the chief has some people that may be interested as well.
All right. Oh, sure, come on up to the microphone. Morning.
Your commander, Judy, is that correct?
Acting commander.
Acting
Yes. Yes.
congratulations.
So there is a meeting in Sunsites on Monday that the sheriff and A few of us will be at a community meeting, so if you would like us to announce something then, we could announce something then.
Yeah, just tell them that the board's looking for folks to volunteer to be on the fire board and they should submit.
That more information. will
I
be
can
coming out.
send you the public notice and give
Yeah.
you more details.
Okay, well, we'll spread the word.
Hey, thanks for that.
Yep.
Appreciate it. That's good. All right. Sheriff's got to go back. He and I got beat up at the town hall last month, so I guess he's doing a follow-up get beat up. So part of the job. It was a lot of fun. All right.
And we have another action item under Board of Supervisors. This is another one generated by our clerk of the board. She's been very active lately. We have a toilet rebate program in the county. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this.
No.
So if somebody purchases a lower flow water toilet, they get $100 rebate per toilet. In the past, it excluded manufactured and modular homes. Laura questioned as to why, since they have toilets too. So we
So
are,
this is if you go buy a new toilet for your mobile or modular
or
home,
any home,
you send the receipt to
to
somebody
Laura
and then they get $100 from who?
from the county.
From our general fund?
It's in a special fund within the clerk of the
I don't
board.
think we can afford it. And this is someplace that, really obviously is a subsidy.
So Laura, if you want to explain the.
If it's not coming from a grant or something from the state or the feds, it's coming out of us.
It's been, it's barely touched.
Yeah, it's barely touched.
I'm trying to. Okay, I can see the Facebook posts now. Here they are. Get ready. Turn your.
Wastewater.
Tape your, yeah, tape.
It's not true, though.
If you need a toilet. I'm just, you go to Home Depot, you buy a toilet.
Yes. You can get $100 rebate and
But
Laura,
why,
how often
but
is it?
why do you need the
It
rebate?
is accessed very rarely.
Toilets are automatically now, because they banned all the good toilets. You got to go to Canada and smuggle a toilet in if you want a good toilet. Because you can't, yeah, it's all these laws in the US, you have to smuggle toilets in. I know a guy that does it. It's a high flow toilets that are the 5-gallon flush toilets. Because now everything's like 1.4 or 1.8 or something like that under the new federal law, which, by the way, if you see the city of Tucson and Pima County have nothing but issues with their sewer systems getting plugged because there's not enough water flow. They got to go out with trucks and flush with thousands of gallons of water, flush all the sewer lines because they only got 2-gallon flush toilets instead of 5-gallon flush toilets. But if you can't buy a low flush toilet, you're not, all of them are the same. It's not like we're incentivizing them to do the conscious thing. If you had a choice between a 5-gallon toilet and a 2-gallon toilet, and we're giving you $100 to choose the 2-gallon versus the 5-gallon, I could see that. But there is no choice to be made here. This is my toilet's broke. I got to go to Home Depot, get a toilet. I'm with Tom on this one. We need to have a serious discussion on it. This doesn't make any sense to me.
And
Laura, to speak on it a
It
little
makes
more.
no sense.
It's to promote water conservation to replace their existing high flow toilets with water conservation toilets.
do they work?
My understanding.
Anyway,
All right.
subsidies increase prices.
It's just,
It is a.
I'm sure the Home Depot Lowe's lobby will be upset about it, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep over this. I'm sorry.
Market economics.
Would you like us to pull it from the agenda?
Is the program still in existence for regular houses?
We
I
Yes.
want to kill it all.
We could strike it from the budget.
I want to kill
Strike
it
from the
all. Kill it all.
strike.
Yeah,
We'll move it from the agenda.
all right. You kill everything. Kathleen's gonna come back and say, you guys.
No, she won't. She'll get it.
Yeah, okay.
Subsidies. I mean,
I just- I
we'll
can't
come back to this.
It
this
doesn't do
subsidy.
anything though. It doesn't really.
Ms. Lowenheim, does the legislature require counties to offer this type of program for unincorporated areas?
I would have to look at that. This was established back in 2004 and I don't know the origins.
If maybe we'll stick it back on and have a discussion, but for right now, we'll err on the side of
Save money.
save money, save tax dollars.
I'll take it.
I don't see the logic. I don't see, all right, whatever. That's a good one. All right. County Sheriff.
I'm still reeling from the last one. Okay.
All right, all right. So,
You just never know what's gonna happen.
Just never know what's gonna happen.
that's why we do work sessions. You know, it's all about knowledge.
Okay, so this is a work plan for cooperative service agreement related to our USDA animal and plant health inspection service, wildlife services. This is a renewal, I believe, of this annual contract.
Is this like ranch patrol related or something?
No,
All right, well,
This is
But
Lieutenant
it's-
DeJonto?
yeah.
Short guy
Did you say
thing.
that right?
Giganto, yes.
Gee.
So, good afternoon or morning, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So this has to do with, Al Tomlinson. He goes out and he mitigates, basically nuisance and predatory animal threats, that our animal control
He's a
officers,
Professional hunter.
basically, yes.
Yeah.
So Al Tomlinson, he primarily deals with skunks, coyotes, packs of feral dogs that harass cattle.
Yeah.
Those are kind of his bread and butter. For us, he does other mitigation for
Sick
other
animals.
entities.
Sick animal.
Not always. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
it-
but among other things,
Oh.
I mean, he's protecting the healthy animals by,
Right. No, I get it.
right, like,
How do I get in on this?
what was that?
How do I get in?
All you have to do is call. If you have a,
I can't go out and make a couple bucks shooting coyotes?
probably for free, maybe.
I don't mind
just
this gig. It
get-
sounds like a good gig.
get a hunting license, that's all.
I got a license. I got permits, licenses for all this stuff.
Okay.
So
Well, Mr. Tomlinson, I'll introduce you.
That's a
When I-
fish and wildlife issue. I'll
When
refer
I
you to
lived in
them.
Pima County, I actually offered, they were doing a $4.5 million program for neutering and spaying and something with stray animals.
I'll do it for $3.5.
I offered to do it for $1 million a year. With me and my two boys, I would have eliminated their animal problem quite quietly. And they wouldn't have to worry about neutering and spaying all these dogs and cats. So, but I mean, this sounds like, so a guy goes out and professionally hunts coyotes and skunks and
Been doing it for a long time, and he was a deputy, wasn't he?
He retired as a lieutenant, I believe.
oh
Yes.
my God, he's a
What's
retired,
his job?
he's a retired deputy and he gets to go out and just hunt all day long. And
Yeah.
God, I'm envious.
No,
Yeah.
no, wait, no, he's gotta get skunks out from under people's houses and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
know.
that.
Well,
You know, and it's not all gravy.
There's a pro and con to everything. I mean, there's a pro, but this is a cool gig. That's a good for him, man. All
He
right.
gets sprayed a lot. You may want to reconsider.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
does he? Does he get nailed?
Frequently, I tell Mr. Tomlinson to keep his distance
Yeah.
because,
Oh, is that?
and we kick him out of our office because nobody wants to be around him.
He's not the most popular guy.
He does a great job, but if he were not to do it, it wouldn't be services that the sheriff's office could
Good
pick
fun.
up
I got you.
because our people aren't
Well,
trained
that's-
to handle skunks or go out and deal with coyotes or packs of dogs.
So there's also what Mr. Tomlinson has referred to as rabbit COVID, which is really hemorrhagic fever or something.
Yeah. I've seen
And,
that.
and he gets them and makes them available for testing by people that test for such things.
Yeah, we send them to the state and they test them and we get the results.
I had a
back.
big kill off on my property. I came out and like within the span of like 2 months, I had like 25 dead rabbits on my property from hemorrhagic fever. And what's really funny is the coyotes, for some reason,
They
don't eat them. And
Yeah.
they somehow know.
know.
they must smell something.
It's something weird, yeah. So, okay. Well, that sounds like a no-brainer. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
We might as well hang out. Is this you? Are you the
Nope.
next one too?
Can he come in? Can Mr. Tomlinson make himself present?
I don't want to inconvenience the guy. He's
He's
hunting
gonna smell like
skunks.
skunks.
I can ask
You can
him. I
invite
can't
him.
guarantee the condition he will arrive
I
in.
understand.
But
Does he need an apprentice? Does he need an apprentice?
does,
Or
you could check with him.
or an assistant hunter? Or whatever. I don't know.
Talk to him about it.
Ah, sounds like a good gig. All right, we'll swap you out for the big guy.
So the next one is to approve a donation to the sheriff's office from the Support Our Sheriff's Foundation in the amount of $390,000. The sheriff plans to use this for public records redaction software on their body cam footage, various facility improvements related to the sheriff's office, CPR machines at the jail, and recognition badges for the 250th anniversary of America. So, Captain Turner, acting commander Turner.
Yes,
I don't have, do you have anything for the commander?
I would be very happy to hear from you, whatever you have to say.
this is a great donation. The redaction software, we get FOIA'd a lot and our support staff is way behind. This redaction software, they used it in trials. They can take a 50-some minute video and in minutes it's redacted and it's great stuff. So really help out our support staff. And on the redaction, the FOIA requests and what's required there. The CPR machines, what we
Is this
call
from Thumpers?
yeah, they're,
Yeah.
you lay on a backboard. We want one in each jail. You lay on a backboard. There's a thing that goes over your chest. They said it increases the flow of blood by 80%.
Yeah.
Regular traditional CPR. Yeah,
As a guy that's done a lot of CPR in his lifetime, I can tell you how fast you get
yeah.
tired.
Well, in traditional CPR, they say it's like, somewhere around 15% or something like that is all you're getting blood to flow
Yeah,
through the
most
body.
laypersons don't do it right.
Yeah, and these machines are 80%, and on top of it, it's not breaking ribs or anything like
It still
that.
does. Trust me, I've used a bunch of them.
You
I've
can
used-
put your hand up under there and there's pressure, but there's
It-
nothing.
It still does.
Yeah,
I've
So-
used the Thumper dozens and dozens.
But it's
of times.
superior to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh, it's far superior to a
Especially if you're
human
putting
doing
them
chest
into a
compressions.
helicopter where you're in a stacked situation and you can't get above them to do chest compressions and you could slide them in the helicopter. That's the only way to go. It's really the only way to go.
And then the facilities improvements, we have a project here in Bisbee at the main office and then at the Border Center for furniture and kind of redesigning our Bisbee office so that there's an area when sex offenders come in to do their registration. They're not just sitting in the middle of our support staff. There's going to be an actual area that they can do their interview and have a little bit more security and privacy. So.
Okay.
We have Lieutenant Foster with us today? Is that did I get your title correct? Oh, really?
Yep.
Any
Everybody got a
contributions
vote,
for
Bob.
us?
Everybody got a little,
Okay. Okay.
everybody got a little,
Making the
everybody's
magic
wearing
happen.
new
Yep.
stuff on all their collars, so it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
please get promoted. That's good.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Oh, Wally, I just real quick. What's the follow-up on the LPR stuff? Did you guys set up a date to get the feedback from the state on the mod for the
Yes, well,
grant?
I was working on that yesterday and then I'm sending it off. Hopefully today I'm sending
Okay.
it off to DEMA to do the modification.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. And get that name we won't mention off of there
Yeah.
and redo it.
Okay, great.
Yep. Right.
Awesome. Good deal.
Also, Mr. Chairman, I did look up about the toilet rebate program, and there is no statutory mandate that we have to offer this program. But my understanding is the county's been offering the program for probably more than a decade. But there are various municipalities and water utilities in this county that offer their own rebate program, depending on if you live in their service area.
Good for them.
Okay, so the
All
next
right.
one on. the
Thanks for doing the homework on that. That makes me feel even more comfortable.
The adopt resolution for the housing choice voucher administrative plan. And Ms. Baca is here to tell us a little bit more about that.
Good morning once again. It's that time of year. As a matter of fact, usually this time of year, you guys can't get rid of me. So, but this is for, I'm asking the board to approve our streamlined annual and administrative plans. Typically, the administrative plan is effective the beginning of the fiscal year. However, I would like it effective as soon as possible because we'd like to begin with what I'm about to explain to you. So in our administrative plan, which is the HUD form 50075 HP, the section B1 talks about changes to our administrative plan. The change that we added was a preference for the emergency housing voucher program. Those, we've had the emergency housing voucher program since 2020, I believe, 2020 or 2021. It began as ARPA funding for families who were fleeing domestic violence, moving on from dual diagnosis mental health agencies, and they still required the housing component, but no longer required the case management with the mental health agency. And also people who are diagnosed or who are chronically homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. So it started out as ARPA funding, and originally I thought that the 21 vouchers that we were awarded would probably just be added to our allocation eventually, but that's not the case. We're anticipating the funding to probably go away by the end of this year. So what this preference allows us to do, we currently have 14 families in this program. So what this allows us to do, we have a waiver from HUD. If the board approves adding this preference, we can add them to our housing choice voucher waiting list. We've already not been leasing up in anticipation for this. We've already not been leasing up new families from our waiting list for the housing choice voucher program, which is by far our largest program. We haven't been leasing up in that for months, anticipating the possible need to transfer these families over so they won't have an interruption with their rental subsidies. So with those 14 families, we have 2 port outs, and I'm sending letters to the housing agencies that are currently administering our port outs to absorb those 2 families into their allocation. And then we have 1 port in that we're notifying the housing authority that we're not absorbing anybody. So with that, this is specifically for the emergency housing voucher families who are currently on our program. We haven't been, as the families dropped off, I want to say 2 years ago, HUD gave us direction as the families dropped off this program not to replace that voucher. So that's why we only have 14 instead of the full 21 vouchers. So that's what we're adding to our administrative plan. And like I said, HUD already gave us a waiver so the families don't have to reapply. We can just put them in according to, and we have a meeting scheduled with the families for questions and answers to go over all of the details of this. And also we're going to have like a pre-application, a modified pre-application, so that we can determine how many of the preferences will be afforded to each one of these families, because that will rank how high they are up on the housing choice voucher waiting list.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Ms. Baca made herself available to present to the Marine Corps League back 2 or 3 months ago, I guess. And so I want to thank you again for that.
Thank you.
Could you tell us about HUD VASH, and does HUD VASH have anything to do with, you mentioned HUD, but the VASH part has to do with veterans?
So Supervisor Crosby, you're correct. HUD VASH is specifically for veterans. So essentially, the veteran applies through the VA. The VA determines their eligibility from their standpoint, and then also does a needs assessment for the veteran and or his family. And if, as the needs assessment ranks the veteran's family, we'll just call them a family, they will refer them to us for the housing component. So it's kind of similar with the housing opportunity for persons with AIDS as well. They go to Southern Arizona AIDS Foundation. That organization determines eligibility through their guidelines and statutes, and then they refer them to us for the housing component.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about maybe a scoring component or something like that to prioritize people for emergency action. Could you tell us more about that?
So the organizations, I believe they still utilize a system called Homeless Management Information System. And as they're interviewing the veteran, they have a number of questions that they go through, and that system automatically rates their need for housing. We don't use the system ourselves.
So in things that are not directly related to this grant, but not necessarily related to veterans, you still have some scoring priority criteria.
The VA does.
Okay.
And then once they refer them to us for the housing component, all of our programs are consistent when it comes to our regulations and our, not necessarily an application. Well, it is an application process for everyone. So our systems are consistent across the board once we receive those referrals. But we do not currently have a waiting list for HUD-VASH. We have available vouchers for HUD-VASH. But our waiting list for housing choice voucher is quite extensive.
Okay,
Hundreds of families on it.
I see. Thank you, Ms. Baca.
Thank you.
That's my questions. Mr. Chair.
I just got one. Is there a county match on this? Or is this all HUD funds?
No, sir, they're all HUD funds.
All right, so thank you.
Our department doesn't receive anything from the county as far as general fund.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Would you like for me to go over the annual plan point by point, or would you like to save the anticipation for Tuesday?
I'll leave that to you.
No, we're okay.
Okay,
We're fine.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Doesn't change the outcome. All right, IT stuff, Joe. Is this you?
Yes.
Or do you have,
Yeah.
I don't see the IT guy here.
No, he'll be here Tuesday to explain, but yeah, this is the AI policy that we're presenting to the board to get approved with AI taking over the world in general. And we want to get ahead of it.
We're not the only government that's doing this. I saw a story, I shouldn't use this as an example, but coming out of California, where a small town, city council and government basically relinquished everything to AI to try to save
Oh, yes.
time and money, and it created a nightmare for them like you would not believe, because they thought that the system was going to like autopilot the world for them. And it created quite a problem. Again, and then I've seen this in my previous job where there's a temptation to use it. And if you don't have people that know what's real and what's not, and what's right and what's wrong, AI could be quite the problem. And then again, back to the law enforcement guys all left. I just saw this big lawsuit going on in Nevada right now against this casino that had this guy arrested and thrown in jail for trespassing because their facial recognition misidentified him as another guy that they had banned from the casino. And this guy just happened to align. But he presented an ID, and the cop said it's a fake ID. Because the AI doesn't lie, the facial recognition doesn't lie, the system's been tested, you're full of crap, I'm gonna charge you with trespassing, you're presenting a fake ID to a law enforcement also, and then it took like months to get it all sorted out, so he's suing the living daylights out of the casino and out of the police department. For throwing his butt, illegally detaining him, illegally arresting him, and
We have Joe to blame.
but AI is a problem, right? And then we saw that when we were talking about the camera issues. Everybody relies, there's this thing, well, AI, they analyzed it. It turns, 50,000 data points, says it's you're the guy, you're guilty. Like they did that lady in Denver with the porch pirate case.
And that's a big part of this policy.
Right.
Is to make sure people understand that the AI does hallucinate. It does have flaws.
Yeah.
The county employee that's using the AI is responsible for that output.
That's right.
So if the AI is giving bad information, it's the county employee that's responsible for correcting that before they
And that
distribute
includes
it.
the sheriff's office too?
Yeah, the sheriff's office falls under the policy, yes.
Okay, because that's where my biggest concern is, because what I'm seeing is a lot of problems with the AI side on some of the tools that they use in getting into trouble. I watched Leto's Law. Do you watch Dylan? Do you watch Leto's Law?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He's an attorney in Michigan. And he does this great thing. He's a lemon law attorney and civil attorney. He made a fortune suing car companies over, but now he's got a U-turn. He does all this legal stuff, and he brings up this case of AI where lawyers are doing all their pleadings and they're using AI to write their pleadings, and these judges just spanking the snot out of them because they didn't write it. They had AI write it. And then there's cases that have been thrown out because of bad AI being used, improperly citing case law and all this stuff, where it's a huge problem on the legal side where AI is now in the legal world, the judges are telling attorneys, knock it off. Start writing your own stuff. And if I catch you using AI, and so that's also an issue. That people are becoming so reliant on it that they're not doing their job. Mr. Crosby.
Ms. Lowenheim, can you help me and post the actual document and at the bottom, the italicized section, the bottom of section 11 to start with? And it says, how about a little more? Either that or I'm mistaken. Just down a little bit farther. On the bottom of section 11. There we go. The examples of prohibited uses are illustrative and not exhaustive. Department shall consult CCIT when evaluating new or high-risk user cases. So I thought that was one of the most important points. So if you could go back up to section number 1, and I'd like to quote a person I thought was very helpful, a Vietnam era helicopter pilot that I used to work with. And he said, you're not on line. Line is on you.
Right.
And this was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So how many, up to the top, the question is, just for the record, how many in this, I know this document is not complete.
Right.
Okay. So how many approved Cochise County AI systems will there be? Because there was at least maybe 2 or 3 of them named, and either going to pick one or they're going to pick 3 or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's something that we ought to know. So someplace it says about legal compliance, and it's maybe I'm sure it says that several places, legal compliance. So legal compliance will create more bottlenecks. And so when it comes to all this public record stuff, this is going to be another bottleneck that everybody's going to wonder, well, is this legally compliant or not? And they will have to ask somebody real smart. In section Roman numeral 5, paragraph A. There you go. Somewhere in there, it talks about tools and environment. And anyway, that term is in there. Tools and environment. There you go. Tools and environment. I find that needs further definition for the record for anybody working on this policy for us. Then the last line of paragraph A says legally protected. Right, there you go, legally protected, very bottom line of paragraph A. And so that is another, we're gonna have to figure out what's legally protected or not. And that's something that we have not necessarily determined absolutely from a public records request.
That legally protected is from a judge, right? Doesn't he deem what's not, so like a confidentiality agreement or a
PII.
classified settlement or PII, yeah.
No, we follow, there isn't a manual in Arizona that public entities use when making public records decisions. There are a series of statutes, and then there's a very long series of case law in which judges have told us what might be considered sensitive.
Right.
And so we follow that follow perfectly, so.
Perfectly, okay, that's a good deal.
Be careful.
Feel pretty good.
Roman
In the
numeral
political
9,
world, we don't use those words.
IX.
You gotta be
And then
cautious.
paragraph B.
Where it's like perfect and
Perfect.
never
Right.
and always, you gotta be.
That's fine. Thank you
Someone
very
will
much.
always find that one
Mr.
time
Chair.
you didn't do it,
Disclaimer policy in top line of paragraph B seems to contradict. Why am I saying that? Assumed to be truthful, credible, and accurate, and yet we're going to have a disclaimer policy which could be construed as contradicting with that. If you're going to say, the disclaimer policy, I think it needs further clarification. Now, if we could go to,
I'm sorry, sir, I don't understand. your
yeah,
question.
me neither. So
No. So
disclaimer policy.
That's
in the
what he
top
just
line
said, though.
paragraph
You just
number-
said that everybody assumes it not to be truthful and they are to review it.
Correct.
and determine the validity of it, and then they are responsible for releasing the information as that
Right.
employee. It's on them.
Yes,
Correct.
we're saying there cannot be a
Right.
disclaimer on it saying this was
Right.
created by AI.
Exactly.
So therefore, don't necessarily.
I
believe
think that that's contradicted further in the document. and-
It is?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, all right.
Let's see
yeah,
what you
I'll take a look.
okay. Okay, we talked about tools and environment disclaimer policy. Okay, in Roman numeral 11, which is XI, paragraph I. Or, there you go. Policy decisions, okay? So I think policy decisions needs further definition and restriction. What is a policy decision? What can be possibly construed as a policy decision versus, okay, this is a hard and fast definition of policy decision, because it's not there. Okay, so moving right along.
Do we generally, Joe, do you have like when we do statutes, right? In the beginning of the statute, you have the
The
definitions
definitions, yes.
in the beginning that explain.
Like
kind of-
adding a definition of policy decision.
Yeah, so if
So we have
you,
we have a mix between our policies. We do have a definitions list for all policies, but also some policies have definitions, so they haven't all been cleaned out.
this is kind of unique in its,
If you have a definitions that goes along with this policy, you have the definitions page.
I would have to verify we actually have it on here.
okay.
I think
Okay,
it's a lot.
moving on to Roman numeral 12, which is XII. Second to last bullet. Keep going down, stop. And it says, oh, we're gonna get buried in citizen communication having to do with AI. That would be my prediction to go along with everybody's dependence on it. So it says citizen communications over there, public facing or citizens communications in the bottom of that section. In the what I call the second to last bullet. Then if you could go to paragraph I, that might be up. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, so it has to do with where are we in 12? We are in 12. See if there is a paragraph I in section 12 for me, please. Nope, there isn't. So anyway, in some place where it said in paragraph I, it says human experts. And so if you're going to say that AI is going to be biased, you're also going to have human experts that are going to be biased, including the bias that they got from using AI.
That's true.
Okay, see if there's let's go down just there. Bias in GAI, that must be where it is. So if you got a paragraph I there, Ms. Lowenheim, accuracy. Human experts, verified by human experts, okay? And so just above it, it says bias. So you've got the bias is supposed to become overcome by human experts, we would like to think. But that's the assumption that, well, the human experts, they're not going to be biased.
Yeah,
right?
you're trusting that they didn't Google it and get an AI response and became an expert through reading it. Now they have a bias.
Okay, so let's take a look at.
But that's where you're supposed to do more than one search and get the reality.
Okay, two searches, and then that.
Well,
that-
not just search, but you're supposed to.
Human bias, right? Okay.
Well, again, I'll give you an example. Certain engineering tools have an AI component now that helps speed up the ability to do certain modeling and simulations to evaluate the design. So usually what would take weeks and weeks modeling and simulation, AI can do within a couple hours now. But an engineer still has to go in there after that's done. A human being has to go in there and review all of that to make sure that a bias wasn't inserted by AI or some other thing wasn't inserted by AI. Does he have biases? Every human has a bias, but you are then that engineer, just like Joe mentioned in this, you are then that engineer that basically says, I have reviewed this, and that's where it says it requires a human expert. That engineer is the expert in this particular thing, and he makes sure that the data that was output was in compliance with.
Everything else.
Well, yeah, that's.
Ms. Lowenheim, if you could move to paragraph S, and this will be my last comment.
No, you're making good points. Because there is a confirmation bias problem with humans and AI.
There we go. Human in the loop. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. It talks about, well, we're gonna have a knowledgeable human in there somewhere.
Right.
A knowledgeable county employee. All right. So that needs further definition, I believe.
What knowledgeable
knowledgeable?
employees?
You better believe it.
He's saying, so for like
Does it
human,
have to have an engineering
for like
degree
human
or what?
resources, right? Say you're doing something that's PII related or something, right? And you have the system scrubbed to make sure there's no AI scrubs to make sure there's no PII in there. Then somebody has to be there to go through the document, make sure there's no PII. That's a knowledgeable person, someone in human resources that reviews it to make sure, or if the sheriff's office, right? The examples, sheriff's office, they have this new software that basically takes body cam footage and video analyzes every frame to make sure that, for example, if the CAD is up and it shows all the personal detail on the CAD, it blurs out the CAD only. And it does that now. I've seen that software that'll blur only that out, right? Somebody's got to watch that video to make sure that AI software actually did blur out that CAD, because sometimes it misses it and the CAD gets exposed, and somebody could freeze the frame and then read everybody's information off it. So that human has to still make sure that AI did what it was supposed to do.
So that concludes my technophobe remarks.
Okay.
Okay,
I will review this video and go through and try to figure out, your comments and how to address them in the policy, but I may have to.
And
give
Ms.
you a couple
Lowen
of
does
details.
have my scribbled notes, and you can have your very own copy of my scribbled notes, but probably Ms. Lowen would surrender her scribbled.
AI is a challenge. I'll tell you right now, even in the corporate world, it's a huge challenge because confirmation bias is a problem now, because kids going through college are being trained to use AI in college, right? To speed things up, because it is a benefit if you use it properly. It will save you a ton of time, because it basically takes 10 researchers that normally would have been involved in researching all this information and does it for you in minutes, right? So now one guy could do the job of what 10 guys used to, but that one guy or gal needs to be knowledgeable enough to go through that, to just read through that data to make sure something wasn't inserted there. But the problem is, like you said, Tom, if they've been trained and used AI before, they may have gotten bad data and not known it was bad, and they now assume that that's the correct data, and they will then say, well, it's correct because I remember this.
It came from the newspaper.
It came, well, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that's true too.
we will never be able to control human infallibility.
You can't, but to Mr. Crosby's point, it is going to make it's going to exacerbate the problem. It's going to make the problem worse, because now instead of having one or two sources that may have been biased, right? AI is going to search thousands of sources, and it's going to bring that bias in. And then you need to have a human being that can able to determine what is the bias or not. But a lot of problems, like I said, they've been so, I don't want to use the word indoctrinated, but I'll use it. They've been so indoctrinated that they don't know it's wrong. And so they have that confirmation bias where they say, oh yeah, that's right, because this is the way I've been trained or taught in college or taught in my internship, that this is the way this is. So they said, it's right, it's correct, when actually it's not.
So
Because
the challenge I see here with some of these comments though is how to incorporate like the human bias piece into policy. I put a definition in there for it that you need to be aware of the human bias. Would that meet your
And
need
we
on that
have
one?
training to go with this policy that we're rolling out to help
Correct.
people understand their role when interacting with AI. But as I think we can't in policy, in a written word, control human actions.
that's right.
on
For
the-
instance,
That's right.
on the subject of eternal accreditation, which we've talked about, that was called by AI a built-in safeguard.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
And lying is called adaptive application.
The CEO of Google had a meeting, and it was I read this story where they were saying they have to drive the terminology in AI to make sure the terminology meets their
Yeah. Correct speech.
correct, right? So now they're actually deliberately creating an influence on AI so that what's generated in AI only spits
That
out.
could never happen in this county.
No, that's why the big scare is these big companies that have these different AI tools manipulating the AI tools to get a certain political philosophy across.
Pushed out there.
And but how do you recognize that is what Tom is saying. How does someone recognize that what you're getting is you're getting fed a message that was preordained in the AI tool by the powers that be, the tech oligarchy that says, this is the way we're going to do it. And everybody else has just got to suck it up and take it. That's the problem.
Yeah, and so part of this whole initiative is Sharon was saying the training, which is also on the 24th, which is the date that this is going for approval. So we'll make those tweaks, whichever ones we can there, and get in front of the board. But there's 50 people, slots for 50 people, 48 people signed up as of yesterday afternoon from the county. So it's been a very positive response from the county employees out there so far. Part of that training is a couple hours of online ethics AI training, and then it's going to be the in-person training here as well, along with the tools. You asked about which tools. And the reason why we don't generally put tools in the policy itself is because they'll change throughout the years, and we don't have to go back and change the policy every time the tools change. But right now we're looking at ChatGPT and Copilot as our two primary GAI systems. We haven't settled on which yet, but so far ChatGPT is outperforming Copilot for what our needs have been so far. But that's where we're going with the tools at this point.
Google DeepMind hires new AI chief strategy leader who plans to develop AGI safely to empower humans using an outline provided by the tech experts of Google.
Well,
Now,
we're experts,
who are, again,
knowledgeable.
that's the knowledge. So basically, they are seeking to win the AI model market to influence all open AI and Anthropic, I guess, are the two big companies, OpenAI and Anthropic, with their DeepMind. What is DeepMind? Do you know what DeepMind is? Is that some?
So there's a few different terms I've used DeepMind with AI.
No,
more
it's
than deep research.
a tool.
Oh, it's actual.
It's an AI tool that Google has developed called DeepMind, right? And so they are hiring these guys. So they hired this guy named Jasjit Sekhon, a former Harvard and Yale professor, who is now going to help them develop the baseline policy and strategy for developing AI. So
Which will be the way they tell him to make it if he wants to continue to be.
right, and those tools, OpenAI and Anthropic, are going to be heavily influenced by this guy, right? So you have a human bias that they are actually saying they're going to insert into. It says right here, they had a quote from this guy they just hired. It says, "I am joining Google DeepMind because I believe in the frontier lab best positioned to develop AGI safely to empower humans." So it's scary, scary stuff. AI, you got so much bias that's going to be inserted, and somebody's got to know the difference. And that's the scary part. Who's going to know what's real and what's been influenced through this? There's some Harvard or Yale professor that is now writing the DeepMind software policy for Google, right?
That might be the greatest challenge society faces.
It is. It's going to be
in 20 years.
huge challenge. And what's even worse is it is resulting in a dumbing down of and I see it in my two kids. My two kids, everything they go straight to the cell phone. They have no analytical knowledge now. Let the internet decide what's real and what's not, what's right, what's wrong. I mean, that's what's scary. There was a time when we trained and educated people to be problem solvers. You know, the problem solving process that we used to go through to learn how to do problem solving is gone. Nobody teaches the problem solving process anymore. Everybody just goes straight to Google, straight to AI, and let them solve the problem. But you don't know.
Yeah,
It's adaptive application.
I know that's the scary, and it's really with the crap that these guys pulled in 2020. The way they played their games with their messaging and their controlling of information. I don't trust any of those guys, Zuckerberg or Ponzi or whatever his name is, the Google CEO or whatever. None of those guys.
I'm
What?
listening to you now. You said their name.
Yeah.
Oh, no, who cares? I don't care. But I mean,
There was a doctor that never.
but I mean, this is was Sundar Pichai. That's the guy's the Google CEO, right? He was all instrumental in allowing only certain words to go out, only certain news stories to go out. And, you know, when you search in Google, if you were looking for a certain term, it would give you what they wanted you to read first, second, or third, and everything that you really needed was like 29th, 30th, 31st in the search results. They played that game and manipulated that game and got caught. What are they doing now that hasn't been caught yet, right? They're still doing the
For profit.
yeah, and you don't know what they're doing. You know, so this is, I don't even know if you can write a policy for this, Joe. This is what's really scary here is you still need humans that can sniff this stuff out. And how do we know that, again, it goes all the way back to being educated in a process that is now so, in my opinion, corrupted, that they may not know what is real and not real, or right or wrong, or correct or incorrect, or legitimate or illegitimate. They may not know.
Like you're saying, the phones are, that's the knowledge of the world is at your fingertips there.
Yeah.
But which knowledge of the world are you getting access to? Are you getting strict knowledge?
My
That's a
wife
challenge.
hears me, like when I'm on the computer at night and I'm researching stuff, my wife will hear me make funny noises. Because I'll be reading this stuff and I'll go, "Oh." I'll make that noise because I know what I'm reading is BS, right? And I know I'm like, I'll shake my head. And I know that this is being fed to everybody, including my sons and my neighbors' sons, and my neighbors are reading this and thinking, oh,
This is the truth.
this is the truth. And I go, I know it's not. I go, okay, but I'm 60 years old and I've got 30 years of experience before cell phones even existed, where I learned the hard way with Miss Tedesco, my first grade teacher, you know, educating me and, you know, yeah, the good old days, right? Where you didn't have you learned the old school way. And so, but that is going away. Guys like us are dying off every day. You know, we're going to be gone. And the entire there is a generation that will occur at a certain point when all they know is this.
The AI youth.
Generation or all future generations?
And all future, that our knowledge base is gone. And the only knowledge base out there left is this. And that's what's scary.
So you
We have
got
a few more agenda.
All right.
I know, Sharon. Sharon's trying to push us along, but I get Mr. Crosby's concern. I got the same concern. It's scary though. I don't know if you can write enough proper things in there and definitions in there to deal with this though.
It's a start. I think
It's a
we have to
start. I
start
get
somewhere.
you.
We'll be on a cut.
Policies can be amended over time as the technology changes.
I got you.
But we have to have something that makes the employees responsible for their own workload, you know, the work they produce. So that
guess
AI
Like the ARS,
The word- the word-
ARSs have not kept
Yeah,
up.
the word though is trust, and that is a very unique word. And it's, you have to unfortunately trust people. You know,
Every
like when I went in, I got open heart surgery. I had to trust that guy sticking his hands in my chest to fix it. You have to trust, and it's hard because you're surrendering.
Because you have no choice.
Yeah, you're surrendering even to, you know, I'm not doubting our employees. We got some really sharp people, but they're dying off. No, I don't want to, like.
No, it's healthy. You feel good.
Fazio's sitting out there. I said, but I'm not saying that, but we have people that have all this knowledge. They learned it through a certain process that may or may not have anything to do with this. But those guys and gals are moving on to retirement or, you know,
Riding off into the sun.
writing up, and we are getting a new, younger, no offense to our esteemed colleague at the end of the table here, a new, younger generation coming in behind them, right? And
Got to
they,
raise them right.
they are educated in a different frame of reference than what we were educated in. I see it in my two boys, right? I got a 31 and 32-year-old son. And the world is very different for those guys than it was for us.
They're listening to you.
Oh, sure enough, that's exactly what it was.
They're listening.
It popped up. So
That was
that-
Are you talking bad about AI?
But I
don't think you're a team player, man.
you're bestowing with this policy a significant amount of trust on all of the county employees in that work for this
It's going to
county.
be restricted.
My understanding is that the
It's
access is very restricted.
Right. So it's the opposite. It isn't like super broad. We're talking of making it restricted.
Yeah, I got you, but you still in the end have to have that one human being in there.
Better than.
But we have to have that every
Even though
I know.
I'm the big technophobe.
I'm scared.
They're
too.
gonna use it whether we want them to or not. So this is us trying to give them guidelines for it.
Yes.
Technology is
Good point.
evolving. I remember when it was about 10 or 12 years ago, I came home one night and I had just left a machine learning seminar that I had been to about machine learning on how basically, and I sat down at the kitchen table with my wife and I said,
We're in trouble.
the Terminator is here. I said, Skynet exists. And I said, that's what was scary. When you have the ability for machines to teach machines and train machines and educate machines, and that was 12, 13 years ago. And things have changed. I said, it's over. Arnold Schwarzenegger predicted the future.
They're not infinite.
Well, and that's what's scary because now you have machines out there teaching machines, teaching people. Now machines are teaching people.
You're not.
Fear not.
You're not trained.
I know. Fear not. Keep that can buried in the backyard for that emergency. But everybody needs to channel their inner prepper a little bit, just in case, just say. All right, I'm off track now. Sharon's got probably one.
I'm trying to move us along.
It's quarter
Okay.
after 11, so let's,
So the last three items are all related to those workforce development, local workforce investment board appointments. We moved them to the action agenda this week for, I believe Beta Phelps or Vicky Simmons from Workforce Development will be here to explain those appointments.
Both on the line now. If
They
you,
are online. You have.
Oh, let's hear it.
yeah, because this was the problem we had last time. We got the legal ruling on this, right?
Yeah, we-
Ms.
yeah.
Phelps, are you
Right.
on the line?
They are online.
Go ahead, ma'am. Colin Scarborough, where's he from?
Cochise College.
Cochise College, excellent. Where's Desiree Galez from?
She's the DES appointee.
Out of Tucson, right?
Tucson, but her service area is
Okay.
Cochise County Grant.
And then Elaine Rodriguez was,
I believe she was local as well.
she was where?
She was,
Tucson?
she was from Tucson. I don't
Now, I
remember.
believe I looked at these appointments that were on Agenda Quick
Mhm.
and they're still there.
Okay.
The same ones as.
Yes, these are the same ones.
Yeah, they are the same. Yeah, just that we.
Ms.
did-
Vicky Simmons is
Really
on
can't
and unmuted.
affect this.
And Vicky Simmons is on and unmuted now. So.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Vicky, are you there?
Yes, yes. Good morning. These are the same three that you all discussed at the last work session. Colin Scarborough, as Sharon said, works for Cochise College, lives in Sierra Vista. Desiree Galantes is the Department of Economic Security. She is out of Tucson, but her service area does include Cochise County, Graham County, and Greenlee County. And it was discussed also that she was appointed because there was not a local supervisor. They, DS conducted interviews on Monday, so that person should be hired within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully that appointment will go to a person that actually lives in Cochise County. Elaine Rodriguez is the director of the Tucson Job Corps, and our residents in Cochise County, depending on eligibility, can attend the Tucson Job Corps Center. So her service area also includes Cochise, Graham, and Greenlee counties.
We're blessing off as well as the other counties too, right? Is that the,
We're a member of the local area and the,
everybody in that local area has to bless off on these three?
No,
No, just us, because we are
What?
the. center of
Plurality.
Universe. No, I don't know, maybe it's kind of like the LD, but
Yeah, we
basically.
have the majority of the,
There's probably nothing that says that we can't rotate this function, this fiduciary function through the other counties,
Vicky, do you know why it's Cochise County and not the other counties that have to do this approval?
because we're the biggest.
because Cochise County is chief elected official, and I believe it was at some point in time when this consortium happened, that the county managers and the Board of Supervisors agreed that Cochise County would be the lead.
That makes sense, because we are also the pass-through for funding.
I would
Yes.
defer my answer to Sharon on that because the county managers of the local area collaborate together to decide certain members from certain counties for certain seats.
All right. All right, it is what it is. We got the information. I got it.
Is it true or not that this function could be rotated through all the counties that are involved instead of being,
Just because she's counties?
staying in,
I don't think we can, right?
I
The way the money flows, I think is what's gonna stop it.
We're the pass-through for the funding,
Yeah.
so we're just kind of the lead. Cochise County has been the lead for
I
a few
understand.
years.
that doesn't mean another county necessarily could not take the lead.
pass.
Would be a
Oh, yeah, I guess, but if it, they would have to change the
The
grant agreement, yeah,
Agreement needs to be changed.
if there was a need to do that.
if you want to do that.
We could look at it.
Yeah.
If this is, taken up, administrative,
Takes no time at all.
oh, then any county could do
Yeah, but really,
Making this.
it's not an administrative burden on the county.
it. I understand.
All right, I guess we're good on that.
Is whether you want to minimize government.
We don't want to interfere with the workforce development right now. We could look at that later. Let's get these out of here.
It wouldn't that's fine. I'm just saying it wouldn't necessarily change anything about the way funding is distributed. If, for instance,
It
funding
went to
was
Graham County.
distributed, well, if it was based on population of the county, you're gonna get this much, you're gonna get this much, you're gonna get whatever it is, which I don't know how the funding is distributed. All I'm talking about is the administration of the whole program.
Mhm.
That does not necessarily, just because it's been this way for 15 or 20 years, does not mean it has to stay that way for the next 15 or 20 years.
Gotcha.
Just saying.
State and federal legislation, we'll have an update on that after the LPC meeting. Well, I don't know if we have an LPC.
By the way, they changed the PC thing. I got the email last night from CSA that they were successful in convincing the sponsor to
Came
amend
to
the
their senses.
to come to their senses. So Cochise County and all the other counties won't have LD chairs sending PCs directly to the board. So that's taken care of. Yeah, they fixed it. So
That's
glad
good.
that was done. So
That's good.
anyways, was the
There's
only-
there's not an LPC meeting tomorrow, so.
yeah, they're doing it today. They're doing it now.
Because-
So Kathleen's representing us. I hope she does
Takes
does a good job.
It's a bull by the horn.
He and Sonny Borelli are like the only two guys that are running
You guys talk a lot.
the CSA legislative policy thing and well, Kate Brophy McGee too. And it's kind of funny that all three of us are former senators. Who does?
David, supervisor from.
Oh, yeah, Supervisor David, yeah,
Graham.
from Graham County. But it's funny that you got Brophy McGee, Borelli and Antonori, and all three of us are former state senators. That seems to be, I don't know if the other supervisors don't get the game, the statutory jujitsu and the parliamentary parlor tricks that go on in the legislature. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But
Just an
it's an
update.
education.
While we were talking, Matthew Taylor emailed me and he would like to remove number 6, the subdivision regulations.
Okay.
He'll just remove it because
All right,
he got the gist.
all right, we can do that. We can remove it. Saves, solves the problem there. Everything still goes through planning and zoning and the board.
Yep, no change.
No change. Okay. I want to bring up a thing and I know this will probably get other people's standard. And I want to look at the Sprinker.
No, yeah.
Seriously, I want to look at it. I want to know how it's legally formed, if it was legally formed, and what happens if we disband it? Can we disband it?
It doesn't exist. You don't have to
I
disband.
get you. That's what I'm trying to set up. So I want a work session on that. Dylan.
On the.
Yeah.
Let's have a work session.
Yeah, I want to do a work session on it but I want a future work session on it because this thing is now, Mr. Crosby talked to me about this way before the election, about the challenges with this thing. And I have encountered things now regarding this thing that I'm really,
Don't let anybody mess with our water.
I'm really wondering what there's ulterior motives here that uses that to manipulate things in this
Of course.
county. That manipulates the thing that is not for the betterment of this county.
It
is to the
extorts
detriment.
money out of the fort.
So I really want to take a look at that. I have a funny feeling that it's more than what even Mr. Crosby relayed to me 2 years ago about this thing. But now that, because of open meeting law, I want to have a chance to talk to Mr. Crosby and get more information from him on it, plus get the legal aspects of it, because I have genuine concerns with it. I really do. And I think it is now being used as a hammer to bludgeon us over the head with, and I do not like it one bit. And so I want to take a serious look at it, and what could we do with it? So sure, they'll I'll get the emails on that, but it's something we got to take a look at. I really, really do, especially with all the games going on with water.
Mhm.
And using it maybe as a justification to establish an AMA in the San Pedro Valley, or using it, it's being used nefariously, I would argue, more than it's being used as a benefit to the county. Did you want to add?
I gave you, it was a newspaper article from like 2012 maybe, or something
Yeah.
like that. And it was about Regional Water Augmentation Authority. Okay, so that is what they want to do, and it's not gonna get augmented to here.
Yeah.
It's gonna get augmented away. That's just all there is to it.
I'm seeing
And
it.
I'm
I'm seeing it referenced a lot in lawsuits that are being filed. And that's my angle that I'm coming at this from. It is not a government entity. It is a pseudo government endorsed entity, maybe is the word. And I do not think they should have any input in policy. I do not think they should have any say whatsoever in water policy and construction policy and development policy and economic development policy,
The
but
military.
they keep getting inserted in there, and that's what's irritating the daylights out of me. If just you want to go watch birds, knock your socks off, go down there and watch birds, but don't stick your nose in policy development and influencing water development and all that stuff in the county. That's not what they're expanded beyond their lane.
It's worth so much money,
I know.
billions, tens of billions of dollars. That money, the water that is in that aquifer,
I know.
which is, the river is the water table.
Yeah. And that's why I really want to take a serious deep dive in this thing and get all the information I can. And I'm going to need a lot of legal help on this too, because some of the points that are raised was this thing wasn't even properly established.
We'll do some research
Yeah,
on that,
yeah.
and I'll get with Sharon and Joe. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
I'd
it,
like-
schedule a work session.
Yeah, I'd like to do the work session on that, and then that way there we can have a free flowing discussion, and I don't have to worry about the AG coming down on me.
I will resend you my PowerPoint presentation, which I already have.
I saved it when you said, send it to me the first time I have it.
Appreciate that.
And then, trying to think what else. Oh, I want to do a resolution that allows people to shoot firearms on their property in this county without being declared a nuisance. I'll tell you the story on that later.
Okay.
But they're, if you are not inside the incorporated boundary of the municipality, you have the right to discharge a firearm on your property. Now, you can't hunt within a quarter mile, but you could shoot on a private personal range within a quarter mile. The law allows you to fire a firearm within a quarter mile if it's on a range. It only prohibits you from firing a firearm when you're hunting within a quarter mile. And people don't understand that. And there are police departments in this county that are going out and banging on people's doors and implying that they can't shoot within a quarter mile of any house. And that is not true. That is not true. So I want to affirm that solidly, that in Cochise County, if you live outside of an incorporated boundary, you are free to discharge a firearm on your, as long as you do it safely, you don't cause property damage, and you're responsible for where the bullets go. Everybody has a right to fire their firearm on their property, but I want to put it in stone. I want to put it in stone that you're allowed to use your property and shoot on your property and do whatever the heck you want, and you don't have to worry about the cops coming out there and giving you a hard time just because you're shooting in your backyard.
I'll explore
You
that.
just got to make sure you don't put a bullet through your neighbor's house or accidentally shoot his cows or, you know, that's part of the being a responsible firearm owner, you know, but having someone coming out and give you a hard time because your neighbor called because they didn't like the fact that you were shooting a gun in their mind close to the house, that's not cool. That's all I'm getting at. Anyways, I want to, I'll work with you on some aspects, but I want to start drafting that to write. That's the beauty of living in rural Arizona.
Check your sprinkler rules.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what else I had. That was about all I had. Right there.
On Tuesday, we have a discussion on the public records request process. We'll have a
Oh,
work
yeah.
session on that. So
Yeah.
Dylan and team will be presenting on how the community processes those public records requests. And as well as a discussion on our data-wise governance project. So Joe and Dylan will be doing that work session. And then we also have a work session on Tuesday, March 24th with the elections department for the updating the fee structure for intergovernmental agreements with municipalities.
Yes,
When we talked about
darn right.
Douglas and Benson
Right.
recently, it brought up the concern that those fees have not been updated
Nope.
in many years. So we're going to discuss some of those.
So a lot of the costs got dumped on the other taxpayers of this county because a bunch of NIMBYs in Benson wanted to do a recall. And now everybody else in the county's got foot for it. That's my heart.
We'll have that discussion all on Tuesday. Although Tuesday's a busy day again.
As it should be.
As it should be.
You have anything?
No, sir.
All right, well, our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, March 24th at 10 a.m. here in the hearing room. So with that, we are adjourned. We'll see you Tuesday.